Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Eruption of Shame for March 2024. The hopefully short episode where we look through and see what games to be included this month in the various different bundles and, well, Humble and Prime over March 2024. So, straight off the bat, I see Saints Row. Oh no, this is not up to a good start. So let's jump right in and see what we've got here. Our first game is Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Now, I looked this one up on Steam, and it looks to be meh. Like, literally, that's the overwhelming thing I got from this when I looked it up. Meh. It has mixed reviews, most people saying they're not that impressed. It's a fine game technically, but apparently there's just very little content that actually makes it interesting. What's more is, while we got the Ultimate Edition, the Ultimate Edition only seems to add like 2 DLCs, and they are also predominantly considered fairly meh. So, I know that Warhammer games can be very much hit and miss, but this being the headliner for Humble this month is a little bit weird, given that, I mean, they're not even trying to hide it. It's 60% mixed. And this bundle just keeps getting weirder. It's like they threw a bunch of random games here that they didn't really care about. Now, Neo 2 is probably one of the few actually well-rated games in this bundle today, and it's an expensive one, so hey, good pickup if you're interested in that sort of thing. However, its response was essentially, Neo 2 does not do very much, but it is good for the original fans game. Okay, it's very similar to the first game. If you're a fan, you may enjoy it. Which means, if you've never heard this before, even though this is considered a, very positive game, may not be something you're really wanting to jump into straight away. So once again, it feels like a weird one to have a second game. But like, both of those games seem borderline normal to the fact that they've also included Saints Row. You might be like, oh, but Al, Saints Row 3, Saints Row 4, they're fantastic games. Yes, they are. This was a reimagining that brought it back. It is one of the few games that I wasn't even wanting to get for free. Like, I believe they have given out an Epic before, and I was like, I don't even know if I want to claim this, really. So give out free, and not even to give out like the Ultimate Edition or anything. Not that would add too much, but it just sort of adds to a pretty much lackluster month so far. Like, so far, the 3 top headliners have either been meh, horrible, or good for fans. Now, there are still a few other games left in here which might make up for it, but as far as headliners go, March 2024 feels like a bit of a flop. Yeah, 67% off the Saints Row expansion pass. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Whew, good job. Alright, let's look at some games I'm actually happy to see. For example, Citizen Sleeper, which has been on my wish list for an awfully long time. This indie action adventure RPG has a really unique aesthetic, and quite frankly, I have no idea what it is, but it's been there and been on my wish list for a very long time. So it's not too expensive, but it's definitely one I actually do want. So that's a positive. Same with Black Skylands, another one's been on my wish list for a while. Apparently, it's ship to ship, like airship to airship combat, which, yeah. It definitely looks like very much like a bit of an arcadey romp, but that's not a bad thing. It says action indie adventure RPG, and of course, it is one of the few games in this bundle that's actually been rated very positive. So, quite frankly, this is probably what I'm most excited about in the bundle, because unlike Citizen Sleeper, which has been on my wish list and I've been wanting to play it, and yes, obviously very positive, all that sort of jazz, even, it's not one I've really been jumping like to get into. Like, it's not something I've been really excited about. It's just another game, basically. I've got plenty of those. So I was sort of like, okay. But I know this one very much more interested. I already own Solstice, but it's another example of a very expensive game that's very middling that they decided to include in this bundle. This is probably I haven't done the math to know, but this feels like one of the more expensive Humble Bundles in a long time when it comes to the actual content. But a lot of the content is underwhelming. Solstice, from what I can tell, is a roguelike, a Souls-like sort of game with that very dark aesthetic. You see a lot of these sort of games recently, and it's not really my thing. I don't remember where I got this from, Solstice, but that hasn't stopped me before. That being said, considering the rest of what's in the bundle, this probably isn't a bad thing to add into the bundle. It's not a bad pickup for those who are like a little bit disappointed by the headliners. So there's that. Then we have After Image. Now, this game is a Metroidvania, which means I'm gonna love it. Well, actually, it's not that I love it or dislike it, but this is a game I backed on Kickstarter a long time ago. Well, a couple of years ago. After Image was on Kickstarter. It came out. It was successful enough. Honestly, I love seeing my Kickstarter games pop up in Humble. I do kind of wish they would find success of their own, but sometimes these sort of Humble bundles are pretty good setup for these sort of things. So yeah, it's pretty. It's definitely looks like a decent enough game to try, but oh boy. It's a Metroidvania, which I'm never good at. And finally, and probably, I'm not gonna say, I can't really say the weirdest choice in this bundle, Destroyer, the U-boat hunter. Mostly positive, so it's not necessarily negative, but like, this just strikes me as sort of like a very random choice. It's a very random game. Nothing, once again, nothing wrong with it, but yeah, apparently it's a game about destroying U-boats. So, yeah. Simulation action adventure. So, fair enough. You know who would love this game? My dad. My dad would love this game. Yeah, I think this is one for my dad. So overall, not really any titles in this month that really excite me. First of all, what do you guys think? Do you think it looks like a good month? Maybe you're like, whoa, Neo 2. Or you're being overly mean on Destroyer U-boat hunter. Now, you may have noticed I've been away for the last couple of months when it comes to the Eruption. Last month, I had a little bit of a fall right when this came out. So I was like, you know what? I didn't think anyone would really miss it if I missed for another month. So I figured, why not? And obviously, I was at home for this month. Overall, I think last month was probably quite a good month for me personally. It had a lot of games that I would be interested in, but not what I buy. It had a few games on my wish list. It was pretty good. January 2024, same deal. It had a few games I really was interested in. A few that were duplicates, but I could easily give them out as gifts, so it was fairly fine, really. Now let's look at the Amazon games. So Amazon obviously gives out games as well. And quite frankly, yeah, they haven't been the best last month. We had a number of old school remasters, or remasters, just re-releases. We had Fallout, which has been given out on GOG multiple times to the point where it might as well just always be free on GOG. And we had a few other things coming up. But what do we have next month? Well, first of all, we're going to start with more of the classics, which is Fallout 2. It's going to be available on March 7th through GOG. Keep in mind, I'm pretty sure it's been given out free on Epic. It's been given out free on Steam. It's not the sort of game that really is a massive, great headliner for them. So I'm not really sure what the goal is here. I guess realistically there'll always be people who haven't got it. So for people who haven't got it, it's a fantastic game. It's one of the classic RPGs definitely worth a playthrough, along with Fallout 1, which is still available with Prime right now. So realistically, it'll be available in 2 days' time. So both Fallout 1 and 2 will be there. So if you've got a free Prime subscription, you want to get GOG keys for Fallout 2, then maybe that'll be a good idea. Then on March 7th, we have the game Scarf, an atmospheric and emotional journey about what it means to be a hero. Now, this one looks absolutely charming, and just looks much better. Like, it looks much better than as a pickup, so that's good. Unfortunately, it doesn't really last, with mystery case files morphed to Flame Collector's Edition. Just another puzzle slash choose your own adventure game. There are lots of these, dime a dozen. That being said, some people really enjoy them, and I don't have any shame on those who do. So apparently, surprisingly, because recently they've been putting through a lot of these sort of games as codes on that legacy games thing, and I didn't even bother looking at those because I don't really have or care to have legacy games. This one is apparently coming through the Amazon Games app. If that's the case, yay. I'd much rather that than the alternative. Next, we have Invincible presents Adam Eve, available March 14th. This will be an Epic Games code. Honestly, I saw this game pop up when it was brand new. I'm pretty sure it was given out for free. Yeah, just checked. Adam Eve, this game right here, was only just released at the end of last year and was surprisingly given out for free at Epic Games on its release. Only for a month or so, and then you had to buy it. But yeah, surprisingly, this game was already released for free on Epic. So you're getting an Epic key again, because Amazon never likes giving us these Steam keys, unfortunately. So this one might just be a game that everyone already owns if they've been watching the free games market and the free games posts that I post all the time. So yeah, that one might be a little bit of a less exciting one. Then we have Bus Simulator 21 Next Stop. Yeah. Why does it have trains if it's a bus simulator? I know. Some people really really love these simulator games. So quite frankly, it's not a bad thing to get in the Amazon game apps, but I have had incredibly bad experiences with these sort of simulators before. I've never done a fantastic job. And I guess that says more about me than it does the games, but still. And we also have 2 more left. Through the Darkest of Times, another actual proper game. Though it does seem like it's a a very dark one. So yes, World War II. I see, a historical resistance strategy game. I did not actually see or read what this is about when I was opening it before, but it does definitely appear like it would be part of both the resistance and Holocaust and all that sort of lovely, not great times. So yeah, interesting. Probably will make for quite an interesting game. Definitely one I wouldn't have thought to buy just because it never would have popped up on my wish lists or on my my lists. So honestly, alongside with Scarf, I mean, Amazon Games this month seems like it might provide you with a fair amount of interesting stuff. So yeah, so this one definitely feels like it'll be dark. The final game, and this one comes out available March 28th through the Amazon Games app. Once again, the last one also available on the 28th is the Bridge to Another World: Secrets of the Nutcracker Collector's Edition. This is what appears to be another hidden object game, but I couldn't find it on Steam. And I could only find it on either Big Fish, which, I mean, if you know who Big Fish are, you know who Big Fish are. They release a lot of the same game, a lot of hidden object games, and I could find it on Google Play Store, which means it's probably mostly a mobile port. Not much to say here, really. So let's go back and have a look at the Humble Bundles. Currently, there are only 3 available, and one is ending within a day of this video's release. And that's the FanFest, which is a shame because the FanFest is probably one of the better options out there at the moment. It's a little to the left, Loop Hero. I've heard positive things about Tinykin, though I've never played it myself. I actually have played Wobble Dogs, and there is going to be a video coming out. I don't remember when, but like it's one of the upcoming videos that's coming up is Wobble Dogs video. I don't think I like it as much as a lot of other people do, but that's neither here nor there. Then we had the Creative Sandbox one. This one just contains a bunch of games that have been Kickstarted for a while. So this one was a Kickstarter and finally released its 1.0. I was planning on giving it a go at some point, but I just haven't gotten around to it to give it its launch version a go. I was planning on doing that. Maybe I'll do that as a members video where I just like talk with someone and just like play this game throughout the entire time. I don't know. Then we got Above Snakes, another Kickstarter. Another Kickstarter game that was released, relatively well rated. Trial Makers, that was one I did do a video on and actually really quite enjoyed. Terra Tech, which is a very similar game. Necessity, there's a few different things here like why not? But it's a lot of duplicates here. Obviously, remember you could also change your price down one tier. And if you don't like the publisher, for example, just say you really don't like Critivo for some reason, you might just want to put up the charitable donation a little bit further as it goes. Obviously, don't do that for all your bundles because otherwise there won't be any humble bundles, I'm sure. But it's always good to know you can have choice on how you express the money you give out. By default, you gives out very little. And finally, we had the Frost Fatales. Has another Kickstarter game I backed, and a few other random games. I did not buy this one for obvious reasons. It's filled with multiple horror games and a bunch of games I already know. But still, it's another game that's there. Honestly, when it comes to Humble Bundle releases recently, the Humble Bundles have not been the exciting part. Now, what has been exciting has been the Fanatical Bundles, because they just had a Bundle Fest, which is usually a good time to pick up. The most recent bundle they released was the Prestige Bundle, which is probably the one I'm least excited about because of its massive price tag. They can use the Prestige Bundles to release more expensive games than they usually would. As you can see, it's got like Deathloop there. It's got, well, actually, you've got a few little things here which is quite interesting. Like Shanty was just in another bundle, just in Humble already. And it's not the only one we'll see over this little time. So yeah, not bad games, mind. Like, if you're going to buy a bunch of the expensive ones like Deathloop and Outward and, you know, a few of the more expensive ones, maybe it'll be worth it. So there's another one, Destroy U-Boat Hunter. Good thing I didn't buy it. If my dad bought it, I wouldn't have had it during the Humble Bundle. So yeah, a lot of doubling up at the moment. It feels like maybe people are being a little bit more stingy. One game here I will say is very interesting is Terraformers. I did a video about it. I just bought its new DLC and I'm planning on doing a video at some point talking about that and playing that, which should be fun. One Lonely Outpost is currently mixed, but it is a really interesting sounding Stardew Valley style life sim in space. I really want it to succeed because I was a backer of it on Kickstarter. Currently, it does not look like it is succeeding though. So I hope to be wrong. I hope it does go somewhere. But yeah, I know this particular first bundle, while it has some decent games, it's very expensive. Like it says for games for little as $11 each. Like, given that most of the games in this bundle are only like $30, like yeah, sure, it's a sale. It's quite a big sale. But for a bundle, it seems kind of less than impressive, especially when you consider that some of these games may be added in later to other bundles. Then you had to build your own Trinity bundle. Another bundle I didn't buy, not because it was bad games, but because I already owned a lot of the games in it. So it's saying I own like a few of them, but I actually own a lot more than that. So there's that. Once again, another copy of Shanty. The Evil Genius 2, very good, but it's always sold out. Cardboard Kings, way too short. way too short. Prey. Yeah, so there's some decent games here, but not really that exciting. They had Build Your Own Diamond Collection. Now this one I'm probably gonna buy, hence why there's things up there. But I haven't decided yet for sure. Because they're not really that amazing of games in general. This is a Stardew Valley-like game, which is obviously hit or miss. You've got Mail Time, which we've already seen in a Humble Bundle this month as well. And then we got a few other things here, like My Little Universe, also in a Humble Bundle right now. Like, there's a lot of crossover at the moment. I'm not sure why. Is this better than the Humble Bundle? I don't know. It's it can definitely be a little bit more expensive, a little bit cheaper, depending on what the bundle is. So maybe I'd be better off not buying My Little Universe. I haven't done the math yet. As I said, those are just like placeholders to see. But the rest of the games that really excite me. I don't want to be forced to get a bloody extra horror game, which I always try and avoid. Then Build Your Own Bento Bundle. Now, I usually like these games. I did buy this one just because it generally releases a bunch of those Japanese games. Oh, that's where I bought Solstice from. That's where I bought Solstice from. I should have written that on the list. That was a Fanatica one. Okay, so this is where I bought Solstice from. That is actually quite interesting. A, it shows how poor my memory is, and B, yeah. Anyway, I did back this. I did not back this. I did select this. I already owned a lot of these games, but I was like, why not throw a few more in the pile? Not too expensive. Especially when you consider that sometimes these Japanese games go up to $70 or so. This was one of the more cheaper bento bundles they've done, but they're always good to look at. Next, you have the Killer Bundle. Now, this is a bundle I always recommend. The Killer Bundle gives you all of the games in the bundle. So you get plenty of games to give out as gifts, plenty of games that you may not necessarily want, and then a few games you really do want. So it's good. It's also probably their cheapest style of bundle, and it's except for their charity bundles, of course. So I bought it because I was quite happy about this whole thing. I bought the whole thing, obviously, because you have to buy the whole thing. There were a few games here. I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Like Voltaire looks pretty interesting. Slaycation was on my wish list. There are a few interesting ones here, and I was like, you know what, sure. And then the ones I had duplicates of, like Trover and Airborne Kingdom, I gave them out to friends who have Trover I gave out to a friend who just bought VR, so he got a pretty good pick up there. Then we have Build Your Own Premier Bundle 2. So these are games which are all new to bundle. So probably the better one to go for. As you see, I did buy Insurmountable because I played a video on that, really loved it. Still need to go back and play more of that. Like, people did seem to like it, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So yeah, that was another interesting bundle. And finally, the RPG Build Your Own Bundle. A lot of these are big hitters, but they're also ones you may have already gotten before 100 times over. Like Game Deck's been in lots of bundles before. Morrowind and Oblivion have been given out both for free before. I did buy them to give out to a friend. And you got a few other random things here as well. Not a bad bundle, but a little bit in the way of just more of the same. And honestly, that feels like that's sort of the theme of March. Everything has been kind of ho-hum. There's been a few things which are okay, but primarily I'm a little bit disappointed, shall I say, with the selection available this month. Either way, what do you guys think? Maybe you're really excited, maybe you want to share. Honestly, this month I'm really excited about a few other things that are coming out. For example, I'm really excited about this game, Millennia. I'm very much looking forward to playing it. I've actually bought it for a friend of mine, and I'm planning on recording a video with them as someone who doesn't know 4X's first impressions of Millennia versus someone who does know 4X's first impressions of Millennia. And of course, multiplayer 4X games are kind of hard to get around and hard to get time to do and things to do. I'm playing it. I'm going to be probably playing it with the person who's been playing It Takes Two with me. So feel free to watch those videos as they come out in the next couple of weeks. And I'm hoping to get around playing that.
History's pretty big.
So,
And history can go in a lot of different directions.
It's all about this fight for history and who can control it.
The ability for us to kind of push boundaries outside of what actually happened.
In a way that hasn't been done in other 4X games.
What if we have alien visitors?
How is that going to affect history?
The ability to take it off the rails.
What if steam power was viable for real technologies?
Balloons and zeppelins and steampunk.
What if we have to fight off this evil rogue AI?
I think a history buff could get excited about the alternate takes on.
That is one thing I'm very excited about. I honestly, throughout this entire thing, I'm not going to show the whole trailer, obviously, because not just trying to get copyright strike to something, which is weird, which would be weird for an ad. But anyway, first of all, I'm really excited about the variant ages and the fact that we can have a bit of variety in our Civ games. The idea it goes all as far as like aliens invading. Yes, it seems rather simplistic with just like a UFO unit and some alien units. We've seen those before in some mods, but like this is the first time we've really seen a Civ style game go down this pathway, and I'm really sad. There was a demo that came out. I didn't try to tie that on purpose because I really just wanted to play this game when it came out. And yeah, so I'm excited about that. But more importantly, what I'm really happy to see is, where is it? Oh, I just had that. That's what we paused on. Okay, I see a little bit of it there for a few seconds here. But I'm really excited. Here it is. Underwater cities, right? Underwater cities. You might like, wait, what's... It's like, yeah, that means you can colonize the ocean. Which, fantastic. A lot of games which have been like Civ-likes recently, like Humankind and a few others, they seem like they're mostly just like these weird ones where you have to claim existing areas, and sort of like you have to build where they say you build something. Like there's less freedom than there ever has been before. This one has more of a free form expansion mechanic, which seems really interesting. Building towns that expand your cities alongside the regular cultural expansions. But then you also have surprising stuff like this, like underwater cities, which honestly we have only seen like once in this genre, maybe twice. I forget if Beyond Earth had it, but I do know that one of my favorite Civ games, not Civ 4, I wish it had it, but Call to Power. If anyone remembers Call to Power, it was Call to Power 1, Call to Power 2. Call to Power 1 was officially a Civilization game, and it sort of like dropped off the map entirely because it was made by a different company, made by Activision or someone, and they just abandoned it entirely. Now, after that release, and it was a little bit off the rails, one of the Call to Power games had the ability to had a space layer. You go into space and build space cities, which is pretty damn cool. And the other one had the ability to build underwater cities. I kind of wish they both, like one of them had both, but no. It was either or space layer or underwater, unfortunately, though I would have really loved both. So the fact this game is planning on going a little bit more towards the the science fiction style of history expansion sounds really cool. It also is apparently going to have a couple of DLC in the work. This is also Paradox, means it could have hundreds of DLC by the end if it's successful. Another reason why I want it to be successful, unlike a few of Paradox's recent attempts. It's a reason I haven't done another Stellaris series yet. There's been nothing but pain in the Stellaris community for the last little while. I'm hoping this will be better. I really hope this will be better. Because if it is, I will be very excited by what this means as a gamer. And yeah, that's coming out soon. Another thing that's coming out soon, of course, is Stardew Valley 1.6, which is also due out sometime this month. So yes, I am planning to try it with mods. Obviously, that goes without saying. But few different changes. First of all, I will try my old save game and see if it works when I update all the mods. That is probably not going to work. Okay, just say that right now. I probably won't. So don't hold your breath for it working. I'm pretty sure it would be impossible for me to load that save game again without having the mods completely break and my everything die, because there's been some major mod backbones included in Stardew Valley 1.6, which will make entire old mods just out of date. That being said, the major mods have apparently had time with the patch to update and hopefully not be so horrible. So that's good too, I guess. But the 1.6 patch adds an official JoJo pathway, which is probably what I'll go for. It adds, which is painful, trust me, new major festival, 2 new mini festivals, lots of new late day content, which expands skill areas, all things I really, really love. So I'm really excited to see what happens here. And to that end, I am also planning game working prohibitive, of course. I am planning another All the Mods series, a multiplayer All the Mods series. So we'll see how well all the mods work in multiplayer. So will they work? Will they all break? I don't know. Let's see. Let's push Stardew Valley modding to its absolute extremes. So yes, if you're looking forward to that, feel free to subscribe if you're not already. It's been a relatively slow last few months, mostly because I haven't been doing as many streams, and the videos the games we've been picking up have been, shall we say, not as engaging as they could have been. But that's okay. It's okay. Boop. Obviously, being released a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of stuff upcoming. I did just release the new Members Mountain video. The Members Mountain video, Good Pizza, Great Pizza, has now became public for all users, and the next Members Mountain has came out as well. So Ni no Kuni Remastered. There are also a couple of other Members First games, which I just in case a member wants to request more of it. Overloop and Outcore. And of course, the shameless dive into It Takes Two with a friend of mine is jumping out and is going to be excited to come out over the next weeks or so. That was another one that was members first. The members have had this video since December, and yes, that's the idea. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this month's Eruption of Shame. But yeah, pretty meh month really, but still some really exciting things on the horizon. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time, and goodbye.